Hey people, Intrid here, 2v2, Calderis, Refinery, blue team. Hex is a Lord General fighting in ranged combat, begins with a retinue of Stormtroopers, really strong defense and support, can also add to the retinue. This is the Deathcore of Krieg DLC, so we're going to get all the beeps, I'm afraid. I think they removed the rebreather sounds, but left all the beeps in, the modders. Not sure if that was intended or not. Alongside, Mostafa as a Hive Tyrant, a durable hero, walking through objects cannot be suppressed with powerful offense, disruption and support, begins in melee with a basic synapse. I shall call you Enrico. Red team is a bunch of Orks. This is Floid as a Warboss, a melee hero, walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. Takes over the cap there. And rounding off the teams is eM7 as a Mekboy, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat, has a bunch of versatile orky gadgets and knows how to daka. Hive Tyrant with an awesome special against the sluggers, hit every single model there. Now some termagants backing him up, another special. Unlucky sluggers having to flee, and double shooters getting their daka on. They should be able to deal with the Hive Tyrant. Yeah, Mekboy joining in as well. And Enrico runs. Mid is red. Sentinel gets the ground pound upgrade and is going to stomp the Warboss before the Warboss can even swing his weapon there. Sluggers coming in though, at least they can't get stomped at the moment. And we're going to have to see a fighting retreat here from Hex. Just get as many las gun shots in as you can as you fall back and try and keep the Sentinel repaired. Lord General wielding that bolt gun one-handed, of course, with that bionic arm. Still gets a fancy sword and special attacks and stuff. Sluggers getting in. Those guardsmen run. Lord General gets stomped and now swarmed by the sluggers. Derek and Nigel both fall. Lots of disruption. I think the Sentinel may have saved the Lord General there with that stomp. That guy gets a promotion. Double termagants poking a bit to help. And all the Orks flee. Well, all the Orks on the west side flee. So on this map, it's a little bit lopsided in the power. As you can see here, it's up to Mostafa as the southeast player to look after both of these blue natural powers here. And Floyd on the west side in the northwest looking after both of these red natural powers. It may be worthwhile for those players to get more defensive builds going, maybe with Barb Strangler Warrior Brood and looters up for Floyd. Floyd is getting looters, but Mostafa went for a Ravener Brood. These guys can burrow strike with ranged Devour weapons, try to get in on the Mekboy's death gun there. Couldn't quite manage it. Here's a burrow strike though. Mekboy just teleports away, and they are left getting counter-initiated by sluggers, maybe just backing off, dragging the sluggers in. That was good. Now they can bring their ranged firepower to bear, these Tyranids. Toxin sacks in on both of the termagants. There we go. Ravener Brood get away. Hex is helping out here, 2v1 against eM7. And here's some looters for eM7 now, so another death gun. Limited firing arc with suppression and very strong anti-infantry damage, especially if infantry gets close to it. Here's the death gun of Floyd, setting up in the mid. Sentinel can't be suppressed, of course, as a vehicle, but it only has heavy infantry armor, so it takes a lot of damage from a death gun, especially if it tries to get close to it. Another one sets up. Hex is going to have to retreat a bit. Oh, there we go. Catachan Devils on the field with a defensive smoke grenade that grants suppression immunity, and I think it's 50% range damage resistance as well. I mean, the Lord General can use Carapace armor to grant stand firm and give some suppression immunity as well. But they've gone for some grenade launchers here, granting the move area of effect speed buff. And I mean, they're pretty good weapons in their own right. Derek and Nigel also get one. A big 2v2 fight coming in. Charge from the Hive Tyrant into a Psychic Scream. That was awesome. Knocked down a lot of stuff there. Double shooters trying to back away from the Hormagaunts. Sluggers also backing off. So there's red debuff circles from the Psychic Scream. I believe it's 15 seconds. Minus 30% damage for 15 seconds is a big debuff. if you can time it and get a bunch of stuff in there. Sluggers in trouble and had to run. Hormagaunts chasing them. They can turn and munch on these shooter boys too. Almost wipe those sluggers out. Oh, they want to go after the Mekboy. That Hormagaunt might get stuck. Yeah, that Hormagaunt's got stuck up there. Which is a bit weird, because usually it's because the usually they're in synapse range and they jump somewhere they shouldn't, or somewhere they can't jump out of again without synapse. But he just ran up there and can't get out. So is that Termagant maybe? When the Hive Tyrant gets close with the synapse, it should be able to just jump down. Oh, there we go. He found a way down. They worked it out. Didn't need the synapse in range. It's always been a weird pathing around that wall. Not sure what's going on over there. They needed to block that out. Tier 2 for Hex. Floid also goes Tier 2. Perhaps a zone thrope from Mostafa, since they are facing a heavily ranged army here. Burrow strike from the Ravener Brood. Sluggers coming in to counter-initiate. They get suppressed by aiming. What's that? That was a Psychic Scream. Nicely timed one too. Sluggers getting very low. Can they wipe them? They can wipe them. eM7 loses their Sluggers, and those guys did have burners up. Smoke grenade from the Catachan Devils again. And move is really nice with Catachan Devils, because it can help them maybe aggressively get into melee to stop something getting close, since they don't ordinarily have a melee charge. Or maybe just run into a dangerous range squad like Wraithguard or something with your move. Does it tell me how much it gives? No. I think it's at least +2 though. It's like some corn worship going on. Guardsmen on the way for Hex in Tier 2, which suggests maybe... I mean, they're replacing the Guardsmen they lost, but does that mean they want to get a Chimera or something and have that repair support? Or is it just because they're worried about the Sentinel? Hormagaunts wiped there. The Guardsman wiped here, look. Right on the screen, probably. Those Ardboys up on the Sluggers there. Just got their Nob Leader too for Floid. Ardboys is a global buff from the Warboss, who's helping out on the east side, capping a bit. The other Tier 2's coming in. Mid is turning red for the Orks as well. So they're going to get a 2-to-1 cap going. Didn't go onto the power though, as Sluggers didn't want to stick around, it seems. Some repairs for the Sentinels. It is a Chimera for Hex, and here's the second Guardsman squad getting their Sergeant. Venom Brood for Mostafa, most likely to get the ranged Synapse, because that will buff the double Termagants and the Ravener Brood. I mean, they could just get Death Spitters up and shoot stuff, I guess. Warboss has found a Power Claw and spiky armor. Hive Tyrant charges in, uses Psychic Scream, but now has to fight a Warboss with a Power Claw. They should be able to deal with this Warboss though. There's a stomp. Look at the damage the Hive Tyrant took there, even though the Warboss was Psychic Scream. And he's only level 1. 375 to 435. Hide the guns on the looters there. Slugger's trying to get in, drawing huge amounts of firepower. Didn't even need to use a shotgun blast. There's the Venom Brood, and they do indeed have ranged Synapse. You see that bright green Synapse on these guys now. So they're pumping out huge amounts of damage and have extra health and stuff. 35% damage on a level 1 Venom Brood bonus. That's pretty nuts. Oh, double zone thropes for Mostafa. That's going to be cool. And a Weird Boy up for eM7. Strong choice against a large infantry Tyranid army. And they're going Warpath. Good power bash here from the blue team. Took out 2 gens and a node. That was the missile launcher, the crack missile from the Sentinel getting that shot there. Gives it some good versatile offense. We'll be switching back to frag missiles against all this infantry though. Warboss is... Oh, boss pole. Oh, trophy rack is up, not a boss pole. Mekboy with a beamy death gun now. They've seen that Chimera. This thing provides in-field reinforcement for the blue team now, and does have some guns of its own, especially if you jump inside of it with units. They can operate those turrets on the side. Nothing inside of it at the moment, though, I don't think. 355 to 410 on the VPs, 2-to-1 cap for the blue team. They've taken the mid, they're stabilizing, have a capillary tower up, they can now reinforce off this Chimera. And there are now units inside of it, you can see the turrets moving on the top. And now opening up on the Warboss. Good hits from the Sentinel. Zoanthropes both backing off over there. Hive Tyrant, though, goes in, popping the Psychic Scream. Warboss runs, Mekboy runs, both of those heroes off the field now. And so is Enrico, the Hive Tyrant. And the Lord General went down. Lord General down. Big old warp vomit from the Weird Boy, then runs away, one of his starting abilities there. Did they throw the zap out? I didn't see the zap. Maybe it was, though. Zoanthropes are kind of support artillery for the Tyranids. Provide a health regen synapse, and their ranged attack does not hit friendly targets, although it is shorter range and lower damage than other tier 2 artillery pieces. Cool unit, though. Floats around, hanging out. Has an energy shield it can throw up because very low hit points otherwise. Here's a Tyrant Guard for Mostafa. Maybe it was called in. Looks like perhaps it was, because they have no red right now. Mostafa goes after the Warboss, being debuffed by the trophy rack. Constant damage debuff from this. So good. Has such strong accessories, the Warboss. Beamy almost finished off the Tyrant Guard there. What's going on? Oh, stick bombs. Wondered what all the explosions were. It's stick bombs. Termagants flee. Tyrant Guard into shield wall mode. Did they wipe? Yes, I think they wiped Floyd's looters over there. Stun bombs for the Zoanthropes. Nothing else really to threaten them, though. In a big shooting match. And then stick bombs come in. Hex just got revived, I think, by Mostafa. Reinforcing Derek and Nigel. And looks like we have a medical bunker here to reinforce things. 355 to 318. Hive Tyrant, what are you up to, buddy? It's charging south. I thought it was going to go and try and fight that Weird Boy. Gets a charge, then a special attack. May need to run soon, though, because that's an angry Warboss with a Power Claw. Level 2 now. Sluggers on retreat path. Enrico survives it. 355 to 303. Holding the mid, though, the blue team. Can they hold it for long? I think it's, yeah, it's a lot of Orks. Got some plasma guns up on the guardsmen and the commissar for 12 models, reinforcing 3 at a time off this bunker if they're close enough, that is. They retreat away from the stick bombs. They can break the retreat with those commissars, which they may do. One of them did. There we go. The retreats are broken. They can now reinforce off the bunker. Down goes the Lord General again. Tyranids showing up to help, though. They can now reinforce off that bunker. They need to take down this Warboss. Need to focus him. He's hugely dangerous. And debuffing everything with that trophy rack, too. More stick bombs. And now stun bombs. Some good hits there. Warp vomit into more stick bombs. Nasty stuff. They're just reinforcing, though. More stick bombs. Bunker is allowing them to hold, but they are getting their requisition maybe drained a bit. Seems like it's holding up alright, though. More stun bombs this time. There's the revive. Hex is back to their feet with a Lord General. surely it's worth grabbing the flak jacket for incoming here to help against those stick bombs. I assume it works for stick bombs. It's do they count as ranged damage? Surely they do. Maybe explosive is different. They held it. The blue team held the line and can retake the mid VP. Even the Sentinel's still around. Awesome stuff. Looted tank on the way now for Floid and a Carnifex for Mostafa. What happened to the Tyrant guard? Not sure. I don't see the carcass of it. I'm not sure if the carcass stays around. It may have just never got away from the shield wall over here. Tier 3 for eM7, the last player to go. Hex maybe looking to drop a Lehman Russ in. Decap there from Mostafa. Warboss has a word with the Power Claw. Zoanthrope's getting some good shots on those stick bombers. Almost wiped him. Almost wiped him. Zoanthrope's panicked, retreated there a bit. They got stunned by the stick bombers. Didn't want anything to get close. Maybe they knew the Warboss was around. There's a warp vomit into some more stick bombs. Such a good combo. I wonder what the cooldown is on warp vomit. There's some speed from Warpath. Back to the bunker now, and Stranglethorn Cannon, Carnifex, with huge damage output per shot and suppression. Very, very painful for those shooter boys. But the Orks are capping the mid. 355 to 220. Stranglethorn getting some shots on a looted tank now. They're trying to take out that bunker. And blue team are trying to furiously repair it. Down it goes. Mostafa could drop a brood nest maybe. Back here. You have some commandos up for eM7. Very versatile squad with good damage output, disruption, fast capping, even some anti-vehicle. There goes the Nob Leader with a rocket launcher. Looted tank trying to get some shots on the Carnifex, but takes two focused warp blasts from the Zoanthropes and almost goes down. Can the red team hold? The tank is gone. I think it's going to be hard for them to do so. Warp vomit again. Getting most of those Tyranid infantry there. It's like a 7-second stun. It's pretty nuts. Warboss level 3 runs away. And blue team will retake the mid. Can they rotate across to decap this? Looks like Mekboy wants to grab this VP though, eh? These guys getting sped up by the capillary tower. Think he's going to get a decap, that Mekboy. Here's the response. Some speedy guardsmen. Must have used the move, I guess. Mekboy now runs, has a custom force field. Pathogen's stabbing him on retreat. They should be able to get him down. There we go. Lord, the general runs. We're trying to get a cheeky decap on that wreck point. Nob squad on the field now for eM7. What's the answer to that? Is it execution of Lehman Russ? We have a Lehman Russ up. Could get some Gene Stealers. Could get the Rending Talons to help with some disruption as well. They already have the charge. And they can debuff with Psychic Scream. Rocket Launcher Commando, Nob Leader. Getting some shots in on the Lehman Russ. There's a 1200 hit points tank though. Stranglethorn Cannon doing some good work. Meanwhile, Enrico the Hive Tyrant level 3. Mixing it up in the backlines. Here comes another Nob squad. This time from Floid. Warboss, of course, has awesome buffs for those guys and support in general. Are you overshooting the Nob squad, or are you trying to hit back here? Trying to hit back there, I think. So that beamy def gun is a threat to the Carnifex. Got them really low. Nob Squad pops the Frenzy. I'm not sure why they popped Frenzy now. It doesn't still grant... So as Frenzy used to give them a damage bonus as well. I don't think it does anymore. I don't think so. Spore Mine doing some detonating. Yeah, getting some damage on. Leman Russ still unupgraded. We have Kassakin on the field now getting plasma guns for some DPS against that Nob Squad, that heavily armored Nob Squad, heavy infantry that it is. Could maybe opt for grenade launchers and try and ground target or otherwise disrupt them. But they're going for raw DPS at the moment, and the Lord General plays into that with melter guns and fight harder to increase that DPS further. With increased fire rate, and they got Plasma Guardsmen, of course. And they do have a Sentinel Stomp ready. We are ready to proceed. 270 to 209 on the VPs. Leman Russ getting a few digs on that Nob Squad there. A fully upgraded Nob Squad now for eM7 with Nob Leader, Mina and Greener, and those U-Jammers. Oh, Sneaky Raveners with the Enhanced Muscle Coil. Another tool they can use to disrupt the Nob Squad. They've also got the... Is the Carnifex still alive? Oh, I don't know actually. Oh, there it is. He's still alive. And that all... If they can get a good early shot on a Nob Squad with the Stranglethorn Cannon, that might force them to use Frenzy early to break the suppression. Ravener Brood did get spotted. Not sure how they got spotted. Stick Bombers can't spot them. Kicking off in the mid. A foot of Gork coming in. Crunch. Looks like it was mainly dodged there by Hex. Some buffed up Guardsmen and Kassakin firing now. We do have the Flak Jacket input incoming. 30% range damage reduction with knockback immunity. And now we have an Execution on Leman Russ. Really good damage output against the Nob Squad. They do have to get kind of close though, which is always dangerous with the Nob Squad. Some stick bombs. Just waking up those guardsmen over there. But they were able to push off the Orks relatively easily. I mean, Floid was on the west side there. They got it. 197 to 209. 1-to-1 cap. Blue team will get their natural back and get a 2-to-1. What did Mostafa just purchase there? Another Carnifex. Maybe a Thornback, eh? Use it to fight the Nobs. It's going to take a lot of damage, but it might be able to hold them in place. And it can charge. Commando's being sneaky, just trying to gain some intel on the mid, but the Venom Brood spotted them. Some stun bombs. Decent hits. It didn't hit the Carnifex though. Here comes the Warboss. Gets shotgunned. And takes a bunch of damage trying to get in on the Leman Russ. Looted tank coming around, eh? The Melter Lord General. Getting some good shots on the Nob Squad there. Derek and Nigel also get a Melter gun. There's the Frenzy being popped. Gives them suppression, immunity, and 75% damage reduction. Now it's worn off though. They did tear apart the Lord General in a few seconds. Got some good damage though. A lot of plasma. Are the Kassakin here? Where are they? Oh, they had to run. 197 to 165. The blue team have retained the mid. Carnifex charging through, so it is the Thornback. The full-on melee Carnifex. Very, very scary fella. Level 5 Hive Tyrant, eh? Doing some good work. Leman Russ gets repairs. Hex is floating huge amounts of resources, but doesn't really have the population left to get anything tasty. I don't think they want to give up any of their units. Maybe they could just let some guardsmen die or something. I mean, maybe it's worth giving up the Sentinel to get a Stormlord or something. 197 to 151. Ravener's getting a cheeky decap. The Thornback Carnifex now healing up passively with the help of the Zoanthrope's Health Regen Aura. Leman Russ is fully repaired. Sentinel watching the west side. Can they revive the Lord General here? They need to ask for it, I think. Mostafa's not getting the revive going. Double looted tanks for Floid. Looks like they're leading the line with the tanks. Stun bombs going in maybe a little bit too early. Just want to stun that Carnifex and get a Knob Squad on it, I think. Here comes the Thornback charging through. That was nasty. And a rocket run as well. It wiped a couple of units, I think. Oh, maybe 3 units, actually. eM7 had a rough time there. Looks like the blue team are going to be able to hold, but you never know. When there's 2 Knob Squads on the field and a really pissed off Warboss, you never know. Down goes the looted tank. The other one's quite low as well. The Knob Squad are trying to get around at an angle. There is a Orks. Orks might take out the... Yep, does take out the Sentinel. And a bunch of infantry models. I don't think it took out a squad. And Hex can now get a big, scary, super heavy tank or something. Or just maybe more Leman Russes. Slugger's trying to get in. Knob Squad are fighting the Carnifex. I guess they've got to eventually. There's all those momentum rings from the U-Jammers. Carnifex charges out straight up to the Weird Boy. Special attack from the Hive Tyrant. Enrico pops the Psychic Scream level 6. Surely it's time to get a weapon upgrade there, buddy. I don't think... yeah, they're maxed out population. You got to get their weapon upgrade. The Lord General's still down. By the way, it looks like the red team, though, have conceded. Heavy losses at the end. Warboss down. At a level 2 Lord General with the Melter Gun. That level 6 Hive Tyrant taking it to the Knob Squad at the end. Did these guys level up? They did not. Level 4 Warboss and a level 3 Mekboy. Well, there you have it, guys. A 2v2 in the books. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.